Director Shore,
Hello.
Director Delara. Here. Director Logston,
Here.
Secretary Baraza. Here. Vice President Rodriguez.
Here.
And President Rogers. Here.
May I have approval of the agenda?
Move approval.
Yes.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have public comment at this time. Are there anybody who's willing to give public comment?
No public comment.
Any hands up? Any public comment for this present? No? Okay, we have a consent agenda that includes the board minutes and financials. Does anybody want to pull anything from the consent agenda? May I have motion to approve? We make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Director Perezkill.
Yeah.
Director Shore.
Yes.
Director Delara.
Yes.
Director Logston,
Yes.
Secretary Baraza. Vice President Rodriguez.
Yes.
And President Rogers.
Yes. CEO report?
Thank you, President Rogers. So the items under the CEO report this evening, the first one is U.S. aging vaccination, the grant award update. As you can see, our Chief of Community Engagement is not with us this evening. He is a proud papa as of yesterday and is now on paternity leave. So baby and mother are healthy. They're having to stay in the hospital for just a little bit, but everyone's doing fine. For the next three reports on the agenda, the reports are in the packet. If you have any specific questions, we do have Sergio Rodriguez who may be able to field some of those questions if I can't. So we'll leave that to the reports that are in the packets unless you have any questions regarding the first one, which is the U.S. aging vaccinations. Any questions that you might have? That grant is approaching completion. We did just get the ability to extend that grant agreement to the end of April so that we can continue to expend the resources that are available there, but it will not be able to go beyond the end of April. And then the same for the next item, which is the Riverside County Initiative to Address COVID-19 Disparities Grant. We were just awarded that grant recently, but it does also expire at the end of this month. We just did get notice today that we can extend it through the end of April as well, but will not be able to go beyond that period. So both of those grants will expire at the end of April.
So Chris, my question is, will we still be able to provide the services that the grant covers, or does that mean that the funding is stopped?
We will not be able to bill any more beyond that. I mean, so like, for example, the COVID-19 disparities, we're purchasing the test kits, et cetera. Those are being dispersed and we can get those out. I think we may be able to continue with the disbursement of those, but we will not be able to submit any billing
Yeah, that's my
beyond that
We
period.
could disperse the kits until, into May and June if we had them.
I believe we could, it's just that we wouldn't be able to bill for anything additional.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board for the report? Okay, on to.
And then also the medical mobile clinics report is in there as well. All informational items.
Any comments? Moving on to committee meetings. Finance, Legal, Administration, and Real Estate Committee, Dr. Marston.
Any questions on the meeting minutes that were presented?
There are none. Move on to Program Committee.
Draft meeting minutes are attached to the packet. Does anyone have any questions regarding the meeting from March 13th? Okay, and part B, improving access to Desert House for Gateway Estate, January 2025 report. It also was included in the packet. Does anyone have any questions regarding the information that was provided? We'll move on to grant payment schedule. It's also attached to the packet. Does anyone have any questions regarding the grant payment schedule?
Hearing none.
We only have
And any
Well,
other
we have
comments? Go
five
ahead.
hundred and 20,000 left for this year. For the foundation.
I'm sorry.
We have 520,839 left over for this year.
Yes, I believe so. I didn't look at it, apologize.
Meeting of fiscal year.
Eric?
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that includes one of the elements there is a carryover that we had, not from last year, but the year prior. So it's available to use, it's not gonna go away at the end of this year, and that only 10,000 on this particular one did we budget for potential new grants, because all the other funds were existing.
do we anticipate any of the grantees that are pending right now that would be funded through the foundation? So it may be that money gets rolled over, the 500. We anticipate that being rolled over.
To clarify, we wouldn't need to roll it over because we've already preserved it from a prior year rollover. So at this point, only 10,000 of that was budgeted out of the foundation, just in case something else come up. The rest of it is already preserved and will be there until the board authorizes its use.
I wasn't sure if I would mention it in my board comments, but since we're right there anyways, I'll go ahead and ask the question. The micro grants, I think that's where you usually fund the audits, right? I was at an event recently and there was an executive director of an organization that mentioned that she wanted to get an audit because she wanted to be able to apply for the district in the future. And so I was just wondering, is there anything on our website that says anything about the audits? Is there, this is just one example of a person, of an organization, but since we have that, something that we approved in a previous board, I'm just wondering, does anybody ever apply for it? Is it kind of like a just not communicated or publicized that much?
If you recall, when I did my little presentation of what we do in the programs department, I give you that sample email of those to go back to those organizations. And I have a feeling I know who you're talking about because that person said that she was going to fill out that or present all the information that was required. And haven't heard for 6 months if that's that person, but anyway. And I believe it's embedded in our OP5, our grant policy, which is on the website. I'll have to double check. But there is something in there that, we do have an opportunity to have the district pay for your audit, but we do have different set of requirements. And those requirements are listed.
I'm just wondering if it's possible that if we could do something like in a future newsletter, focus on somebody that either as a FYI or somebody that actually got it, to just be able to bring a little bit more awareness to it, because I do believe that that in the East Valley especially, that there are a lot more smaller organizations that probably don't do audits very often or don't want to spend money on audits. And I believe that they have a disadvantage of being able to apply for grants if they don't do it. So I just want to bring greater awareness to it. And so maybe at a future newsletter that we could highlight it a little bit. Thank you.
It's very important. Any other board comments?
I guess point of clarification for me, because I'm still learning. Do they have to apply to a grant before they get audited? No,
It's
they
not a
can,
grant.
it's not a grant, but they don't have to apply to get money for some program and then we audit them. They can just apply to be audited. Is that right? Is that what she's
They can
asking?
request an audit.
They can request
the district to pay for them to have an audit.
audit outside of actually requesting for money from the
Right.
district.
Right.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, because they have to have an audit to apply for a full grant.
Correct.
So that's why we provide the opportunity for them
Before.
to apply for the support
Mini
to
grant.
pay for an audit.
if they apply with a mini grant, which is 10,000 or below.
Yeah.
Then they don't have to have audited financials.
What's the procedure for an organization that's turned down for a grant or a mini grant? Is there, do they have an opportunity to resubmit based on reasons for denial?
There is an appeal process in the grant process on the flow chart.
Let's see. Right. Any other questions, comments? May I have a motion to adjourn?
So.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
I turned it up and I was like, I started to look, I just couldn't
Where'd
see
that
you.
come from?
Me melting.
I melted right next to you.
That's right.
Oh.